Calling to order the meeting of Fort Myers Beach Public Safety Committee. I'm Tom Gressman presiding, as the chair and vice chair are not with us today. We do not have a quorum, therefore this is just a conversational meeting. No actions will be undertaken. At this point, I guess we do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag, the republic, stands, God, indivisible, justice for all.
I'm going to call the roll. House. Tom Gressman.
John Thomas.
We do have, I did get email confirmation from Susie, Heidi, Jim, and John that they requested excused absences due to various reasons. But like you said, Tom, this is a meeting of the Public Safety Committee. Being you don't meet quorum, you can't take any actions. So your next item, you won't be able to approve the minutes. We'll push those to the next meeting, but you all may have a discussion or a conversation, and we can go through the line items and I can address any issues. My name is Chelsea O'Reilly. I'm the Public Works Director and staff liaison for this committee.
Just a point of order. With the minutes of last meeting, I was recorded in the minutes as being both present and absent.
Okay.
So just a note.
We'll get that addressed. Okay.
Obviously, there's no public comment on agenda items. Would have really been nice to have the sheriff here. I went through that report and just a lot of stuff I didn't understand. Would like to have clarification on the acronyms and things. I didn't know what they meant. Any other comment on the sheriff's report?
Have to hear from them to understand it.
Yeah.
Commentary, so let's move on.
I was just surprised at some of the numbers. I would like to have further.
Some of the acronyms just need to be clarified, and hopefully
Exactly.
at the next time,
Exactly.
at your next meeting, they can come
Categories and things, right?
exactly. So
Okay, the light study.
So I can give you an update on that real quick. We had negotiations with Town Lighting, and Mike, I believe, was on the Selection Advisory Committee that is going to Town Council Tuesday. Monday's a holiday, an observed holiday. So the recommendation of award with Town Lighting is going to Town Council on Tuesday for their review. I believe that agenda is published. It could be up to $185,000 depending on the option that council chooses, either FPL or privately owned. That pretty much sums that up from me. Writing report.
I have a question about lighting. I get the lighting that we're doing already, but 2 or 3 months ago when we were here, I asked, what do we do if there's a light out? And you said go on FPL's website and send them a note, which I did. And I listed the lights. I went down the street because we were walking home one night and it was pitch black. And this is right in front of Crescent all the way to Palermo. It was completely dark. And so I sent him an email. I got a letter back saying, we received your report. Unfortunately, we don't manage those lights. Those are managed by the town. You have to have the town fix. The question is this. We have those blue lights that are sitting there. We get during turtle season, but right now it's not turtle season. We've got all these people running in the I had a bike go right in front of me at like 9 o'clock at night and couldn't see him. Why can't we have those lit, or at least have some kind of lighting? I mean, it is pitch black.
The blue lights are maintained by the town. There are a couple of them that are privately owned that when the town was putting those in, private property owners opted to put those in as well. One of our code enforcement officers does, I think it's every 2 weeks or once a month, count of all of the FPL lights along Estero. My staff are here in the morning. They, note of any ones that are down. I know we've had to replace some ballasts the last week. But if you see those blue lights, call it in, shoot me an email. There's a couple of them, like in front of Lonnie Kai, that are privately owned. There's one in front of Old Waffle House. I always mix it up. Is it Surf Club there now?
Surf Club is really dark.
I think it's Surf Club. Is that the Old Waffle House?
Yeah, the blue building.
That one,
that's
there's
empty.
one light there that is privately owned by that property owner. The only town lights that we have, the blue ones, are on the beach side.
I have a question about that. That building it's empty, and it is pitch black. That's one of the spots where, because it goes back behind there, so we had 2 people come out from behind there, and they scared us. They weren't trying to. But I said, this is so pitch black. And normally when you walk by a restaurant or any type of business, they have some kind of lighting. There's nothing we can do as a town to say, you must maintain this light on your property for safety purposes.
That would be something to pursue through code enforcement. I can relay the message to them. I don't know how that works with vacant buildings or if buildings are unoccupied, but I can definitely raise that as a concern to
Great,
code
'cause
enforcement.
it really is dark, and it would help with, again, that's where all the traffic, a lot of the people are walking. As it gets dark, it's been really congested and black.
This is what you're gonna run into with a private instead of FPL. Problems with lighting. FPL is a mandate that they must work on that light within 10. They do, so I just think that it's crazy to even look outside FPL.
Did respond quite fast, so I was surprised, I'm not gonna lie.
Since FPL has implemented that online outage form, I've found their response time has drastically shortened. And I know that they do have a crew here on island, or if not nearby, pretty regularly. So yeah, and I think we just tweaked the Public Works page on the town Facebook to make that FPL lighting report more prominent, thanks to our PIO. So again, if anybody has any issues with lighting, they can shoot me an email and I can do the FPL report, or the blue lights, we can get we have staff that can address it. So an electrical contractor out if it's something beyond our capabilities.
One more question about lighting. What if there's an area that has no light anywhere, but it should? I couldn't find a link on FPL or a click-through that said, I'd like to add a light to my street or to this intersection or whatever it is. There was nowhere there. Is that something that go through the town and the town requests it? And is there a link that we could publicize to people? Because I've had that asked too, like, we'd like to add another light on somewhere near our street. I don't know if you have to get neighborhood approval or how it all works. But that was another question that came up.
That's definitely a good comment, because if you add another light, that our light bill would go up. So that's definitely something to raise to town council and maybe set some policies and procedures on how to go about requesting that. Because residents change, property owners change. One resident may like it, yet it's light intrusive on another property owner. So that's definitely a policy decision that council may make or weigh in on, at least some direction to staff.
Now, as I recall, when we met with FDOT, we talked about ensuring that there is at least a light at every crosswalk. I understand now the crosswalks are moving around a bit. Still viable?
I don't know. I don't know. FDOT only has so much jurisdiction up to Crescent Street, then the rest is the county, the town. Technically, Estero Boulevard from Crescent South is county.
You need a light at every crosswalk.
Absolutely. It just goes without.
Common sense.
Granted, down south in zone, zone 3 now? The crosswalks are moving around a bit, and I understand that, but it really needs to be addressed. It's a no-brainer.
And well, hopefully, bringing this lighting consultant on board will help address overall vehicle lighting and pedestrian lighting. Being that we are talking about FPL, I did get notice yesterday, which I believe we're going to be pushing out, that FPL is doing, they have tree line trimming that they do, and Fort Myers Beach from Baymar to Linnell is scheduled here in the next couple months on the side streets, so we will be pushing that information out, but there will be some line clearing that they will be doing, so residents may see them on their streets, and they're up some trees.
Amar to Linnell.
Contractor.
Lewis Tree Service, tractor doing it.
More comments on lighting? Foot of the bridge design status.
So, our Chair, John Goggin, attended the joint meeting of the chairs with council, raised a slew of concerns, including this one. In the meantime, so what came of that meeting was I was working with John on the items that was mentioned at the joint session, and compiling that information. I don't know, did we read it to you all? I think we did. I didn't, I can send it to you. I sent town manager it was this picture, the previous public safety committee's concept for the base of the bridge design, and the price of, I think, the lights to the town manager to send off to town council, which were the three items, kind of follow-up items from that joint chair session. So I don't necessarily know what's come of that, but kind of, I guess, wait till see once we get the whole committee back and figuring out next steps with that. FDOT did contact us, and they did have a rough tentative date penciled in to come to do a presentation to town council. They had to delay that. They had some further permitting reviews that needed to be done, environmental reviews, so that I think was tentative for March and maybe pushed back to April or May. Awaiting confirmation from that.
We still, the town still has to vote on the design still, and then they start, or we've already, they voted and they're gonna start?
FDOT is moving forward with design. They're be at 60% design. The previous town council had, I think, made a consensus to move forward with it. And so FDOT is proceeding. I know that there's been some comments from this committee, and I don't know if council's made any comments, but in terms of the design as it sits today, but FDOT will be coming and presenting their design to council, like I said, hopefully April or May timeframe.
This is an FDOT issue.
This is an FDOT
So
project.
they presented to council sort of as a courtesy, but it's their choice.
It's FDOT's project. FDOT is heading up the project. It's in conjunction with the town and the county, but FDOT is taking the lead on the project.
Do they already have a date when they're in that they're going to start? Or
I
no,
don't know. I think they're just in the design phase right now.
Just wondering.
I think they've got like a penciled in schedule, but I don't know that that's set in stone yet.
Is it still in the works that there's going to be a pedestrian catwalk on the west side of the bridge?
The overhang? The pedestrian?
They were going to cantilever a pedestrian
yes.
walkway.
Yes. Yeah, that's still part of the plan.
Anything else on that? Bay Road shelter status.
It is.
In progress.
It's up.
It's great, I think.
Functional. We did get some comments back from, I think, one of the council members regarding the lack of shade during certain times of the day. We are working with FPL. They were supposed to, I don't know what happened, but it's been a year that we've been working on getting a light installed next to that shelter to help illuminate the shelter at night. They should be moving on that soon. It kind of fell off their radar, and I put it back on their radar, so they're putting that to the top of their list. But the shelter is up and functioning, and a good joint project with Lee-Tran, so. And I do see that the tram, the free tram is doing the counter backwards, going up School, along Oak, turning on Bay and coming out Bay, so
Or 9 a.m.?
I believe so. I don't know that it, yeah, I believe so.
Because that becomes one way in the morning for parent drop-off. Anything else on the shelter? I think it looks great. It's sidewalk markings.
So actually, like I said, that one picture was forwarded to the town manager to send off to council. But if you all recall, about a year ago, we were talking about a free demo that a company was willing to do of the green bicycle marking in the bike lane and crosswalk. So the bike actually, if you go to the north end by Carlos Circle, the green marking was done yesterday, and they're doing the crosswalk today, just to kind of see what it looks like. But you just go take a peek at it.
Where they at? Where's that
By
at?
Carlos Circle at the north end of the island. So it's the green bike thing is on Estero in between the two Carlos Circle drives, and then one of the first Carlos Circle drive is they're doing the crosswalk today.
Also green? Bright green?
No, that'll be red, which I'm getting pictures as we speak that they're laying the framework of it, so.
Cool.
The next step is they're gonna show that to council and say, do you guys like the way this looks? They vote on it and they can do it all.
That's totally their call. Like I said, we just got a free demo and signed up for it, and so if council chooses to move forward.
Yeah, free stuff.
Yep.
I just think that the bike lane markings, sharrows, whatever, are, I think, Roger's made this comment before, and I disagree with him completely. An awful lot of people that are here and on our roads aren't locals, aren't here often, aren't here for long. Any kind of visual aid you can give them is fantastic. You go to places like St. Pete or St. Augustine, and the signage, paths, the shared pedestrian and bicycle paths is fantastic. It's great. They do so. And the crosswalk thing drives me crazy. I got flipped off yesterday twice because I honked my horn at people who were in the crosswalk doing this, never looked. Not once did they ever look. I could have run them over. I was stopped. The point is, and these aren't 16-year-old little girls. No, they're 60-somethings on their phone. In St. Augustine, they have a little container at either end of each crosswalk with little flags in it. You reach in the container, you pick up a flag, you walk. It's a conscious effort you make. Personal responsibility in a crosswalk. You walk with this little flag, and then you deposit it at the other end. And it's just anything to get somebody to pay attention. I don't know what state it is, but I see cars all the time that blow through crosswalks with people in them. In Florida, that's illegal, but apparently it's not illegal up north somewhere. I see it all the time. My little... Anybody else? Bicycle lights and bells procurement.
We're sent out some links of bells and lights. I believe this information was passed along to town council and kind of figuring out next steps on procurement of those, distribution, et cetera. But we've given you the information, and this committee can either come up with a recommendation to town council to procure X amount or et cetera, and then the town council can direct staff to move forward with procurement and distribution. So I believe either at this meeting or your next meeting, talk about a process for distribution, criteria, things like that.
I don't really think that town should buy them. Probably buy them in bulk, charge something for them.
Well, and I know that the town sells capital lights, and I believe it's at cost, you know, whatever the town procured them at, I believe it's at cost. So, and that may be the process to go. That's kind of this committee's discussion, procedures moving forward.
Again, I feel like it's personal responsibility. And if we're going to do a courtesy to our citizens by providing them at cost, that's great. Still, a person's got to make the effort, acquire it, and to use it.
Buy them for them.
I agree. And I'm skeptical as how much it's going to be used anyway. We spent a lot of time in this committee when we were going over the bicycle ordinance. I don't see it being enforced. I see electric bikes on the sidewalk. I see people with that. Part of the bicycle ordinance, is it not that you're supposed to have light on during the day? Like,
I believe so.
how much of that do you see? It's kind of frustrating to me that we spend all this time on stuff and then it's gone off.
If after you get the bike lane markings more prominent, more clear, that reduce, maybe not like 30%, the issues that we are having with some of the bikes, as well as with the road widening down on the south end and on the north end. If it'll eliminate some of these issues, and in a year is when you say, okay, we need something else, but I'm not sure what it is that for the bikes. I see more people renting and riding now, and they're all on the sidewalk, and I think then you've got a group of people walking in a group and you see the congestion. So if you did have your marking, your pathways marked, it would be very helpful. Same within the street. I don't know if it'll eliminate some of the issues that we have. High percentage would make a difference. With you, I mean, even if you have a bell, are you going to use it? You can't. You know, if you rent it to somebody for the day, they may not.
Got one on my bike, I use it. I use it way before I get to the people on top of them. Somebody can hear it and turn.
You got all, you see people walking with earbuds, walking and stuff, and they're not going to hear anything. It's going to happen.
I've seen e-bike or electric bikes in the middle lane going down the island during traffic. Left hand, which is scary because if you're turning left and you're not paying attention, oh.
I see vehicles in that lane too, driving. There's always scofflaws everywhere. Members' items?
These little rental cars, little tiny things. See them, they need to have them put some flags on them or something.
Good idea.
Yeah.
They are low.
Easy. I live on Estero Boulevard and by the house, and it's just like trucks and stuff right behind them. I said, how the hell you even see?
The flag is, I think that's a very
I
good
think we
idea.
should contact that vendor and say, hey, you need to mount with a flag on the top of them or something.
They're getting more popular.
They must be. And the e-bikes. I'm on Estero Boulevard and it's just bikes, you turn and you look and you see a bicycle coming down the road, you don't expect it to be on top of you. Seconds.
I have one. Wife has one. We consider ourselves to be responsible and personally responsible. We have ours governed down to 20 miles an hour because the batteries last longer that way. But you see some of these kids and they have theirs jacked way up and they're probably doing 40 on those bikes. It's crazy. To me, if you're going that fast on an e-bike, then you might as well be a motorcycle.
This will be out on the road and
Exactly.
have to follow the road.
And that's going to be the case stretch down here, what is it, zone 2, where there is no bike lane. Not going to allow bikes on the sidewalk. They have to be in traffic. On any, had your lighting comment before, anything else?
Lighting. Oh, I was gonna say this earlier, and just, I know, I'm going back, and I know since we're this kind of off, sheriff's report, and I know there's a lot of information. I thought we had discussed in October that they were gonna give us addresses in those reports. Because if it's one thing here, no, it could be an, hit and run, not a hit and run, a car accident hypothetically, 5 of them. Well, what if they're all around the same area? Then maybe it's something we need to look at.
I think this committee had designated a person to meet with them and gather that information.
And that's what, okay, I just want to verify that, because I thought it was Jim.
Yeah, I think it was Jim.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know, because that was one of the things that, it just gives us data.
Yeah,
Otherwise, it doesn't, I mean,
I think
Undone.
the intent was to go through these acronyms, figure out what really is applicable,
right,
and then delve into that information deeper. Like you said, if it's an accident, recurring accident, or at or near the same intersection, what can this committee recommend? Either additional lighting or patrols, et cetera, to resolve that. So I think your thought process is there.
and then the only other thing is I did turn in the changes that everybody did for the survey, and so I guess our next meeting, I've included everything, then the next step would be to go to information and figure out how we can disseminate it to get,
I liked the survey. I thought it was pretty good.
I think you did a good job.
Just out of curiosity, discussing neighborhood safety, does anybody feel unsafe in their neighborhood? Night or day?
I don't ever feel unsafe, but there is an area that's really dark. You just become aware. Do I feel unsafe? Not
I'm way down south, and we're real quiet, of course, down there. I certainly don't ever feel unsafe.
And when it's crazy, why we chose to live where we live. I mean, it's still what you expect. You'd never feel. If there's any, the only thing you'd ever feel unsafe if there was someone, lurking around late at night or on the street, going around in a circle. But it'd be good to ask people, maybe. One of the things I did do, I included it to the email to Chelsea, was included another survey that someone else had done, just as a reference form, because you might see something there that you go, oh, I forgot, maybe we should have added that question.
I believe I shared that information. It was probably the last meeting, I think I shared it.
Yeah.
If you need it again, you can just let me know and I can pass that back out.
I really have a lot of, the question, do we feel like we need more LCSO offices on the island? At my workplace, some property there, and things tend to appear at night. I'm coming to work, and there'll be, more than one time, there's been a stolen car or something just dropped off there. That's about the only real contact I've had with the sheriffs, but response time has been very good. It out in minutes. Other than that, I mean, I haven't really. We get a random patrol in the neighborhood in a while, and I was waving to them. I appreciate it.
I don't know, did we mean by that maybe more so to have the designated? I don't know if that meant that or.
Yes?
I'm done.
Obviously, we can't set next meeting's agenda.
I'll keep it as is and we'll keep plucking along.
We're back to the regularly scheduled time of the
It says
third.
March. We should be, if there's any change, I will be sure to let the committee know, but I believe we are back to normal meeting date. Then again, I'm available via email if you have any questions, comments, concerns, light issues, you can send to me. Like I tell the public when they do call in, if there is a light report, we encourage the resident to do the report, but we do one as well. Sometimes two calls for action are better than one. But again, if I'm accessible via email, town hall is closed only by appointments. Serve if you guys need anything.
9:37. On that note, we adjourn this unofficial meeting.
Yeah.
Are we off?
Always be careful. If that little green button's on, be
It's
careful.
red. No, it's green. It's red.